Hey, this is Chris from Pikes Peak Adventure and Metal Detecting, and today we're going to do a little local hike at Ute Valley. It's a nice little local hike with a lot of geology and good views. Before we get into the deep geology and ancient history of this place, it's worth starting with how Ute Valley Park became what it is today. In 1969, the original portion of this land was donated to the city of Colorado Springs, preserving it as a public open space instead of future development. Over the decades, additional parcels were added through land purchases and conservation efforts. A major expansion came in the early 2010s when land that once belonged to Hewlett-Packard was acquired using a mix of TOPS funding, private donations, and state conservation grants. What we're hiking today is the result of intentional preservation, community advocacy, and long-term land stewardship. As soon as you step onto the trail, the land starts telling its story. The steep ridges and long, narrow rock spines here are hogbacks, tilted sedimentary layers that were pushed upward as the Rocky Mountains formed. These rocks were once laid down flat, layer by layer, and later uplifted and exposed. Harder sandstone resisted erosion, while softer layers wore away faster, leaving the sharp ridges and dramatic terrain you see throughout Ute Valley. One of the more striking features in Ute Valley Park is this natural sandstone arch. It wasn't carved by people. It's a result of millions of years of erosion working on tilted sandstone layers. Wind, rain, freeze-thaw cycles, and gravity exploited natural fractures, wearing away weaker sections while tougher sandstone remained. It's in the middle of the park. When you find it, and it's a sweet, picturesque spot. This is the part of the hike where I like to find myself a nice sweet ponderosa pine to get that sweet vanilla scent. Ah, yes. More than 65 million years ago, this area looked nothing like it does today. Instead of foothills and trails, this region sat near the edge of a massive inland sea that once covered much of the interior of North America. As the sea retreated, it left behind coastal plains, rivers, and swamps. Many of the rocks around Ute Valley are tied to those wet, plant-rich environments. The ancient plant life didn't just leave fossils, it also left coal. During the late 1800s and early 1900s, coal seams in these rock layers were mined throughout northern Colorado Springs. Coal forms when thick vegetation builds up in swampy grounds, gets buried, and is compressed over long periods of time. The geology here helped bring some of the seams closer to the surface, making mining possible, but sometimes risky. If you look at this historic map, you'll notice names and markings that no longer exist today. Mine shafts, tunnels, and lines that hint at a busier past. Even when the surface changes, old maps remind us what's been here and what might still be underfoot. Long before coal mining or modern trails, people moved through this landscape for thousands of years. The broader Pikes Peak region has deep indigenous roots, including ties to the Ute people. Specific archaeological sites in the park aren't publicly detailed, and that's often intentional to protect cultural resources. But this valley has a much longer human story than the modern city around it. As I hike through Ute Valley today, it's incredible to think how many layers of history exist here. Ancient seas, prehistoric swamps, indigenous connections, coal mining, and finally conservation. From the sandstone arch to the coal seams beneath the trails, this park shows how deep time and human history intersect in one place. Thanks for hiking with me, and as always, leave no trace so this landscape stays wild for the next person who comes through. Well, that concludes the hike at Ute Valley. We're all geared up, ready to go. And if you like this video, smash that like and subscribe. And we'll catch you next time. See you on the next adventure.